Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Classic Comics. This is my review of Star Trek Picard Episode 8, Broken Pieces, and I'm guessing that the irony in that title is all accidental. So we start with a flashback again, and we see the members of the Zhat Vash, who are on this planet that is in the middle of 8 stars. Okay, so 8 stars, and the stars were dragged to this place by an ancient race. We don't know who. So, yeah, I mean, dragging 8 stars to this place would take a massive amount of energy and resources, I'm guessing. And they did that just to make a warning sign. They couldn't have left, I don't know, a satellite that would broadcast a warning or something like that, something that would, I don't know, make sense. How do the 8 stars even work as a warning? Is that some sort of universal symbol for danger? And how is this planet in the middle of 8 stars and it wasn't torn apart by the gravity? How does that even work? Also, if it's in the middle of 8 stars, shouldn't this planet be absolutely soaked with massive amounts of heat and solar radiation constantly? How could anyone even survive on this planet for even a minute without some serious environmental suits for protection? Oh, never mind, 'cause reasons. So, yeah, anyway, a warning. And the warning is that synths are, bad, okay? So, apparently, this ancient civilization, they built synths, and the synths rose up and tried to destroy them, I guess. So, basically, all of this happened before, and all of this will happen again. So, Battlestar Galactica, basically. By the way, wasn't the Romulan homeworld destroyed in a supernova? Anyone remember that? Yeah, me neither. And on this planet, there's a pool, and around the pool is a railing, and if you touch this railing, it downloads a bunch of images into your brain, showing you what will happen if synths are created. At least I think that's what it is supposed to be. If you watch it at reduced speed, it's just a bunch of random images, but whatever. So these Romulan women see the images in their minds, and they go crazy, and one kills Picard with her phaser, and another bashes her own brains in with a rock, another starts tearing her own hair out and screaming, another claws her own face apart. It's like they just watched an episode of Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, but I kid Star Trek Picard. And Commodore O and Lieutenant whatever, Narissa, that's her name. Commodore O and Narissa are both there, and after seeing the images, Commodore O tells Narissa, or whatever her name is, to call Mars, which seems to suggest that they caused the synths on Mars to go berserk. And here I have to admit that I was wrong. I was sure it was going to be Section 31 behind the synth attack, but I was wrong, so score one to you, Kurtzman, I guess. Then we go to the present, and Elnor is fighting some Romulans, and then Seven shows up and saves him, and he explains what's happening, and what Hugh needed her to do to save the former Borg that the Tal Shiar are killing. Then we go to the Siren, and Picard and Soji have beamed aboard, and Picard decides they need to go to Starbase 12. And Captain Rios reacts to Soji's presence. He clearly seems to recognize her from somewhere, and he goes to his cabin and weeps because he's a man, and in Star Trek, apparently, all men are emotionally fragile now. Now, Rafi has figured out that Agnes killed Maddox by questioning the emergency medical hologram, the EMH, and she tells Picard, and he's like, "What? Nonsense! How do you get? How do you even know that? That's ridiculous! It's nonsense! It's poppycock, balderdash, and folderol." Then Picard calls Admiral B. Arthur and requests some ships to come and assist, and she's like, "Go to bed, old man." And Rafi wants to know why Rios is acting so weird, and so she starts questioning all the holograms on Rios' ship to try to learn more about him. Then we go to the Borg Cube, and Elnor and Seven, I keep wanting to call him Eleanor, And Elnor and Seven go to the cube, to the Queen's cell on the cube, and Seven is going to create a micro collective to take control of the cube. But she's reluctant because once she does it, she might not want to stop. But Elnor thinks it's a great idea because he's a moron. Then we go back to the Siren, and Picard and Soji have a talk, and he tells her about Data, whose mind she was created from, somehow. You see, they took a positron, that's an electron with a positive charge, and using that they cloned Data's brain, and it doesn't make any sense. And Rafi gets all the holograms together on the holodeck and starts questioning them. And there's an EMH, and there's an ENH, and there's an EEH, I think? I don't know. And they're all Rios, basically, but they all have some different accent. And it turns out that Rios knew Soji before, but he knew her as a woman named Jaina. Not the Wonder Twin, I'm assuming. Now, we already know that Rios was in Starfleet, but he left for some reason he wouldn't talk about. But we know that his previous captain, who kind of looks like Mike Pence, died, but we don't know the whole story. Then we go back to the Borg cube, and Narissa starts killing all the former Borg drones. Then Seven starts up the cube, and its systems start up, and all the Borg drones reactivate and come back online, and Seven is like, "We are Borg." And then Narissa just opens up the cube and vents all the Borg drones out into space. So, oh well. It was a good idea while it lasted, I guess. So then we learn that Rios' former captain, Mike Pence, killed himself after he committed a couple of murders on a mission. Their ship was sent on a super secret mission to an alien world where they met a young boy and a girl. The girl was named Jaina, and the boy was named, get this, Beautiful Flower. I shit you not. And Captain Pence assassinated them both, but not before Rios fell in love with Jaina, apparently. So then Rios confronts Mike Pence about the murder, and he's like, "Whoa, not cool, bro." And then Pence felt guilty and killed himself. And Starfleet made Rios and everyone else involved swear to keep this a secret and never reveal the truth about what happened. And Starfleet warns that if Rios doesn't go along with the cover-up, then Starfleet's going to blow up the ship and kill Rios and everyone else on the ship, including the entire crew. So these orders came from Commodore O, so I guess they were doing the bidding of the Romulans the whole time, maybe? It's hard to tell, because really, where does Starfleet security end and the Romulans begin, since Starfleet security seems to be infested with Romulans, apparently. Then Picard confronts Agnes and tells her that she will have to surrender herself to Starfleet to answer for the murder of Bruce Maddox, and Agnes agrees to this. She tells Picard that ever since Commodore O put the images about the synths into her head through a mind meld, she's been thinking about suicide. Then Agnes gets to meet Soji, and boy, do they hit it off. Agnes is just gaga over Soji and can't stop praising her. And Agnes is like, "Wow, I was sent out here to kill you, but now that I've met you, I can see you're like super awesome, and I'm totally not gonna kill you." And Soji is like, "Thank you, you are so nice." And then they all sit down and they have dinner together. Yeah. So you remember Maddox? Remember him, the guy they spent 5 episodes trying to track down? Nah, me neither. And we found out that this destroyer of worlds that we've heard about is called Sebchinib, which is Soji, I guess, maybe? Or another form of Soji, another duplicate of her? I don't know. I don't frickin' know. So Picard and the others figure out that the Tal Shiar, or the Zhat Vash, or whoever the hell they are, want to find the world that these other synths are hiding on, and they decide to try and get there ahead of them by using trans-warp conduits that the Borgs travel through. Now, Soji knows how to get there, somehow, and Picard tries to fly the ship, but he doesn't know how to operate the holographic interface and just winds up looking silly. Meanwhile, on the Borg cube, Narissa is almost killed by some of the former drones, but gets transported off at the last minute, and then the Romulans head off to find this planet too. And then Picard learns about Rios's backstory, and Rios says that he hates that his captain died thinking that Starfleet betrayed him, that it was really the Romulans. And Picard says, oh, no, but we betrayed ourselves, and we gave in to intolerance and fear. The path to the dark side are they. And the ban on synths was itself a betrayal, and the episode ends there, mercifully. So, I mean, overall, this isn't the worst episode in this series. It's definitely a step down from the previous one, though. It's just, so much of the stuff doesn't make sense. You're constantly scratching your head. Hey, what? Wait a minute. What about that? What about this again? I mean, Maddox has been completely forgotten. Remember how he was so important? And yet now he's not? And it's pretty clear to me that this show has gone through some significant rewrites and reshoots. Now, personally, it's my belief that originally the plot was going to be significantly different. Now, if you've read about Patrick Stewart's motivations for doing this, it makes it pretty clear that he was intrigued by the idea of doing basically Old Man Picard, doing Logan, but doing it with Captain Picard. Now, what happened in Logan? Logan, he's dying from this disease, but then he meets this girl who is a clone made from him, basically his daughter, if you want to say it. And then he has to try and save her. So it's my belief that originally in this series, Soji was going to be Picard's daughter, not Data's. And she's all superhuman and stuff because maybe she was cloned from Picard back when he was Locutus, maybe? I don't know. But that's my suspicion. She originally was going to be his daughter. I suspect that was then shot that way, and then it was shown for test audiences, and it didn't test well at all. So, reshoots, because, this is a Kurtzman show. It's a Kurtzman Star Trek show. Discovery Season 1 had significant reshoots. Discovery Season 2 had significant reshoots. So it only stands to reason that now the first season of Picard would also have significant reshoots. And when they tested really bad, they had to go back and change things and do some rewrites, and then change. And that's when the whole idea of making her Data's daughter came in, and that's when they added in Troy and Riker as well, and did a lot more of this sort of references to Next Generation, because originally they said these characters weren't going to be in there, if you'll recall. And yeah, it just feels like this is almost like two different shows or two different plots, mashed together, and I suspect that's what it is. But at this point, this thing is what it is. It's, is it as bad as Discovery? No, I don't think so. No, just having Patrick Stewart in it makes it better than Discovery. But yeah, it's just, this show's a mess. It's a mess. Anyway, what did you folks think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments. And while you're here, if you like this content, please do hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications of more videos. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.